people. Welcome to the Rundown with Dr. Ciarrah, where we discuss all things running. If you are new to this channel, then welcome. But if you have been here before, then welcome back. So today's episode is about how to make your runs easier. So my first point is, if you are going for a run, the best thing that you can do is find a way to keep yourself entertained. Well, how do you entertain yourself while running? Well, you can have a running playlist. You can listen to a podcast, an audiobook, anything that you're interested in that you know will keep your attention while you're running. That's what you want to be listening to on your runs. Now, for your running playlist, make it a group of songs that you just love, that are kind of upbeat, that will keep you motivated while you're on your run. And then, you can kind of play with it as well. You can have a song that you like, and then if you know the time of what it is, you can run and try to beat it before the song is over, get a mile in. You can do a lot of different options with the playlist. Now with the audiobooks, maybe it's like listening while you're running and getting a couple chapters in, whatever it is. You just want to keep yourself occupied during your run. That will keep you motivated, and that will help you get to the end of your distance that you want to run for the day. So next, you want to look ahead. If while you're running, you find a target or multiple targets, if you find something that looks super far away and you're like, okay, if I can just make it to that point, that is an awesome way to kind of keep your runs going. And if you just keep doing that over and over, every time you hit that new target, you find something else that you're like, okay, I see that far away, I'm going to run to that. Next thing you know, if you just keep that pattern going over and over, you would have accomplished your run. And it makes it a little bit easier. You kind of can make it like a game. Like, all right, well, I hit target number 1. Now let me find something else and let me run to that. And once I get to that, my mile or however many miles that you're trying to accomplish for the day would be done. I think it's an awesome way to kind of keep yourself distracted. You have your music going and then you're trying to run to different targets. It will be a way that you won't think about your run as much. And that's what this video is all about. Just ways that make your run easier. I understand that running is not going to change. You're going to have to do it one way or another. But if you can find little things that can help you along the way, it will just make it a little bit easier for you. So my next point is to map your routes. I think that this is very important because if you know where you're running, then you kind of have an idea of where you're going to end. For me, I need to know my final point. I need to know where the end point of the run is, or else it kind of makes it harder for me to run because I just feel like I'm just running, constantly running. I don't know where I'm ending. And so it's kind of hard for me to gauge my runs. But if I know, all right, I'm running 3 miles and this is where the stop point is, I know, and I can kind of pace myself. I can kind of, make sure that I'm not using all my energy. I know where I have to get to, so I can kind of gauge a little bit better how fast I need to run or what I need to do to make sure I make it to the finish line. So I think if you just have a map of where you're going, an idea of where the finish point is, how long of a distance you're running, I think that makes a big difference for me too. Like if I know, okay, well, today I'm running 1 mile and I know exactly where that 1 mile ends, great. If I'm running longer than that, I still just need to know where the finish line is. And I kind of like to know the markers. Like I like to know every time I'm hitting a mile. It just kind of mentally helps me to keep going, so I know how much more I need to do before I hit the finish line. So for me, it works. You can try that out and see if it helps you. So my next point is you want to pace yourself. Now, I just talked about this a little bit with the previous point, but pacing yourself is very important because if you start off your run and you start off way too fast, you're going to make it very difficult to reach the finish line. Now, what you want to do is you want to start off with a nice, comfortable pace. Go a little bit, go on your run, get going, get in the groove of that pace. And if you feel like that's a comfortable pace to continue your entire run, then do so. But if you feel like you're starting off a little bit easier and then as you're running, you can bump it up a notch, then that's awesome as well. But don't try to increase your speed too much to the point where you can only do it for a short amount of time and then you're burnt out and you can't finish your run. So this kind of takes some practice because you have to know your body before you can just say, all right, I can go at this speed the entire race, or I can not go at this speed the entire race. You have to just kind of see. And it also would depend on what kind of day you're having, what you've done the previous day. If you just had a hard week, all those things are going to play a role into how fast you're able to run. But once you know your kind of comfortable speed, how you can how long you can run at that speed, and if you can finish your race at that speed, then you can kind of gauge of whether you can go faster or if you need to go slower. And it's okay if you have varying speeds throughout your run. You just need to find your middle ground of what's comfortable for you to run the majority of the run for that day. So next, you want to choose a scenic route. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have something nice to look at while you're running, again, it kind of keeps you distracted on your run and you can keep going. Now, one of the ways that you can do this is if you find like a park nearby, or if you are running on a trail. If there's many different ways that you can do this one. You just need to figure out what's around you, what is kind of pleasant to look at while you're on your run. If you like to people watch while you're running, then find a park that has a nice trail that's kind of popular that a lot of people go to. That's an awesome way to just kind of people watch while you're on your run. And if you want to run around a lake, maybe something, an area that you can find that has that, that's where you want to go. Whatever is appealing to you, that's where you want to go. If you like to look at maybe ducks or birds or whatever it is that you like, then find that and then run around that area so that you can kind of keep your eyes fixated on those things instead of focusing on your run. I promise it will make a difference because you aren't sitting there on your run like, oh, I still have like another mile to go. I still have another 20 minutes before my run is over. You can just put your mind on something else and it is a good distraction, and you will be able to sightsee and do whatever it is that you like while you're on your run as well. So the next point is to relax your arms. Now, I don't know how many of you run, you kind of tense, got your arms up tight, and then your arms are like here, and then you're running. For me, this is very uncomfortable. My shoulders are so tight, and this is actually going to start making my back hurt. So my suggestion to you is if you're running, first of all, relax your shoulders down. You want to be as comfortable as you possibly can on your run. Running like this with your elbows tight, you're using so much unnecessary energy, and you could be using that energy for your run. So you want to definitely avoid being in this position while you're running. You want to be as comfortable as you possibly can. You want to relax your arms while you're running. You want to be as loose as you can while you're running. You don't want it to be that you're using all this energy to keep your arms here. For whatever reason, you're just tense. Relax your body. It will make your run a little bit easier. You just want to be comfortable. You don't want your body to be tense. You don't want to create any additional problems. If I run like this, my back's going to hurt, my shoulder, my neck. I don't want to finish my run with aches and pains. I want to finish my run like, woo, that was a good run. I feel really good. And now I can just go relax and go on about my day, do whatever else I need to do. So just relax your body while you're running, and it will make it easier if you aren't so tense on your run. So the next thing to make your run easier is to 100% stay hydrated. Now, this definitely is dependent upon how long of a run you're going to go for. Now, if you're running a shorter distance, you possibly can just have something to drink before you go, and then that should keep you pretty hydrated on your run. Now, if you are going for a longer run, then you may need to invest in a hydration backpack, or maybe a vest that has the little pockets where you can have little small water bottles, and that way you can drink those along your run. You just definitely want to stay hydrated, because while you're running, you're sweating, which means that you are putting off a lot of the water. And while you're going for your run, it is very easy to get dehydrated, which will affect your run. So you want to make sure that you're doing everything that you possibly can to stay hydrated, either before and definitely after, because you were sweating on your run. So you want to make sure that you're putting all those electrolytes that you were sweating out back into your body. So just be mindful of that, because you can lose a lot of water on your runs, and you want to make sure that you're putting that back into your body. You don't want to be dehydrated, because that will just turn into a lot of other problems. So just make sure you're hydrating your body, and you will get a better quality run if you are hydrated. So this next point is get you a running buddy. Now, I understand that one, everybody may not have someone to run with, and then two, trying to get someone who can match your schedule may be a little bit difficult. But I feel like if you can find maybe a set time that you and someone else you run, I think it will make your runs a little bit more enjoyable. Now, you definitely want to get someone who's maybe running around the same speed that you're running. And so that while you're running, you can kind of stick together, and maybe not 100% the entire time, but obviously being able to see them on the run, I think it will definitely motivate you, because if the person is running faster than you, then you don't want to get left behind. You want to make sure that you're kind of keeping up with them. So it may push you on your runs. And then if you are the faster person, then you will be the person who's kind of leading the run. And so you want to kind of make sure that you're staying at a comfortable speed, and so that you don't walk, the person is behind you. You're motivating them. So it kind of works hand in hand, because you're motivating each other and you're both challenging each other, and so that you can get your race done. I think it would be a very good benefit to make your run a little bit easier, because sometimes when you're out there by yourself, you're like, oh, well, I can't finish this run today. I don't feel like it. Nobody's really watching me. But you have this person there who can kind of help keep you accountable. So it's almost like your accountability partner and running partner. So you get a 2-for-1. So I would just suggest, if you can find somebody who wants to run at the same time as you, who kind of has that same speed as you, that is an awesome person to have as like your running buddy. And I think it will benefit your runs a little bit more. You will push each other, and then you have somebody who can see your accomplishments while you're running. Like, hey, last time you kind of stopped at this point. This time you were running a lot further. It's just an awesome tool to help motivate you and make your runs a little bit easier. So this next point is to find the best hour for you to run. I know me personally, I am a morning runner. I need to run first thing in the morning when I wake up. I need to get my run in, because I have the most energy. I know if I go throughout my day and I'm doing a million things, by the end of the day, if it's time for me to try and get a run in, it's just not a quality run that I would have gotten first thing in the morning. And you have to figure out that hour for you. You have to figure out when you get your best runs in, when's the best time for you, for your schedule, because everyone's schedule is different. You just have to make it work for you. But if you know that, hey, I get really good runs in at night, then run at nighttime. Like, don't force early morning runs. Don't try to force afternoon runs just to say like, oh, I want to get it in, unless you just feel like that's the only time that you'll get your run in for that week. But try to pick your hour, or stay committed to the hour that you are running best. Look at your times. If you record your times and you write them down, look at when you ran at, or write the time with it also, and then see, hey, did I run my best at nighttime? Did I run best in the morning? Did I run best in the afternoon? Whatever it is, make a note of that so that you can keep running during that time. And that way you can kind of keep pushing yourself. Like, if you know you're going to get your best run in at night and you're trying to hit a new PR, do it at nighttime. You have to do whatever works for you, but just try to be consistent and be mindful of when you're running your best, so that you can figure out how to make your runs better. So my last point is to breathe slowly on your runs. I know a lot of times when you're running, you kind of get into this routine of where you're like breathing very fast and really heavy. That just means you're not breathing the right way. So you want to breathe as slowly as you possibly can, because obviously the faster that you're breathing, the more energy that you're expending. And you do not want to use all of it just by breathing. You still need, energy to run. So you want to slow down your breathing a little bit, not your running, just your breathing as much as you possibly can. Make sure you're breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. You want to do this at, as comfortably as you can. You don't want it to be like you're out of breath while you're running, because of the way that you're breathing. Now, you'll be out of breath because you're running, but not because of the way that you're breathing, because you're expending a lot of energy. So just be cautious and mindful of the way that you're breathing. Breathe in through your nose and out through the mouth, and try not to do it fast, because if you're like you are going to use so much energy just by breathing, you're not going to be able to maintain that on your run. So make sure you're just breathing nice and slowly. Deep breaths. I mean, it's going to be constant and quick, but you don't want it to be so much that you're using your chest instead of using your diaphragm while you're running. So you just need to make sure that you pay attention to that also, because maybe you're not even mindful of the way that you're breathing and you just go for your runs. But that could be using up all your energy, and you need that to get your run in. So just think that's something to think about on your run, especially if you're like, hey, I'm kind of in a rut, I'm not able to progress. Maybe it's your breathing that you need to fix before you can even start thinking about trying to change up some other things on your run. All right, well, those are all the tips I have for you today to make your run a little bit easier. If you like this video, please like it and subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. I hope that you thoroughly enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, please leave it below. And then we'll see you next time on The Rundown with Dr. Ciarrah, where we discuss all things running. Have a great week.